All right, let's dive into something a little different today. We're going to look at our relationships through a pretty wild lens. The laws of physics. Yeah, you heard that right. We're going to frame every single human connection you have as a kind of high-stakes thermodynamic game.
The entire universe is really defined by this one epic struggle. On one side, you've got the second law of thermodynamics. Just think about it. A hot coffee always gets cold, a sandcastle on the beach always crumbles, a clean room, well, it always gets messy. The universe naturally and unstoppably moves towards chaos. That's entropy. And on the other side, you've got intelligence. That's the force that fights back, that builds the sandcastle in the first place, that creates order out of all that chaos.
But here's the really mind-bending part. What if this huge cosmic battle between order and chaos isn't just happening out there in the stars? What if it's happening right here, in your life, in how you talk to your friends, your family, your coworkers?
So let's officially set up the board for this thermodynamic game. The core idea is simple but powerful. We're going to look at every person and every single relationship between people as a system that's all about the flow of energy.
So here's the premise. You're an intelligent system, and from a physics point of view, your main job is just to hold it together, to maintain your own internal order against that constant pull of entropy. You use your intelligence to manage your energy and stop yourself from sliding into your own personal chaos. Things like stress, burnout, and just wasted effort. Now, to really play this game, we first have to understand what kind of piece we are on the board. And this means we've got to correct a small, but absolutely crucial misconception about how we think about our own personal energy. We tend to talk about our energy like it's a phone battery, right? A fixed amount that just drains over time. That's a closed system. But that's not us. We are open systems. We're constantly taking in energy from food, from sleep, from sunlight. So our real limit isn't some fixed tank of energy. It's all about how fast we can process the energy that flows through us. And this brings us to the key metric in this whole game, your rate of throughput. Think of it like your personal processing speed. It's how efficiently you can grab energy and use your brain to turn it into something useful before it just leaks away as wasted heat or stress or noise. A higher throughput just means you have a higher capacity to create order. And here it is, the big connection. If our true limit is our rate of energy processing, then our relationships suddenly become one of the most important factors in that entire equation. They can either help us manage our energy like a well-oiled machine, or they can be a massive drain that just speeds up the chaos. So this leads us to the two basic strategies in our thermodynamic game. Every single interaction you have is doing one of two things. It's either accelerating entropy or it's defying it. It's a drain or it's a gain. On one hand, you have zero-sum relationships. I like to call these the entropy accelerators. They're all about competition. For me to win, you have to lose. They just burn energy and create disorder. But on the other hand, you have positive-sum relationships. These are the entropy defiers. They're built on cooperation, and they create this amazing synergy where the total energy and order of the group actually becomes greater than the sum of its parts. It's like magic. Let's just break that down a little. A zero-sum game, that's driven by competition. Energy flows from one person to the other. Think about things like greed or envy or conflict. They're all about trying to take energy at someone else's expense. Now, a positive-sum game is all about cooperation. Both people actually gain energy and order. And the perfect example of this? Sharing information. Honestly, this is the ultimate cheat code in the entire game. Think about it. Sharing information costs me almost nothing, but it can save you a massive amount of high-cost work. If I spend, say, 30 seconds telling you how to avoid a mistake that took me 3 hours to figure out, I've spent almost none of my own energy to save you a huge chunk of yours. That right there is pure synergy. Okay, so if those are the two ways to play the game, then what about the players themselves? Well, based on these dynamics, people tend to fall into one of three pretty distinct roles based on how they manage energy with other people. First up, you've got the entropic drain. This person's own system is so chaotic that they need a constant stream of energy from other people just to keep from falling apart. Next, there's the isolated engine. This is the lone wolf. They manage their own energy perfectly, they're super self-sufficient, but they don't connect with others, and that puts a hard ceiling on what they can ever accomplish. And finally, you have the synergetic actor. This is the collaborator. They use their energy not just for themselves, but to build systems that make energy cheaper and more available for the entire group. So, after laying out the whole game, the rules, and the players, what's the winning strategy? It's probably not what you'd first think. It's not about being the strongest individual. It's about being part of the most efficient system.
Ultimately, the choice is purely strategic. You can play the zero-sum game, fighting tooth and nail for the limited scraps of energy that are available right now, or you can play the positive-sum game, cooperating with other people to build systems that create an abundance of value and meaning over the long haul.
And that brings us to maybe the single most powerful takeaway from this entire framework. When you look at it through the cold, hard lens of physics, collaboration isn't just some nice, fluffy ideal. It is, quite simply, the most brutally efficient strategy for survival and growth in a universe that's always trying to tear things apart.
By working together, by sharing what we know, by building these synergistic systems, we do something truly amazing. We don't break the laws of physics. Energy is always going to be finite, but we transform that finite energy into something that's potentially infinite, meaning value and order. We learn to play the game so well that the score becomes limitless.
So, I guess the question to leave you with is this. Knowing that you're an open energy system in a universe that's constantly tilting toward chaos, what's your strategy going to be? How are you going to use your intelligence and your relationships not just to survive the game, but to create a true abundance of meaning?